Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first of Nicol Squash's online courses for our players. This is unprecedented times, and what we want to make sure that we're doing is we're continuing to give you content to help you potentially continue to learn playing squash, learn about yourself, and even in these very difficult times, use it as a positive, right? What can I be doing? How can I stay fit and healthy? How can I improve my game? How can I continue as normal while still not being able to potentially get on the squash court? So for me, I think about this in terms of when I was a player, when I see other players being injured that I work with. What can you do during those times to actually help you become better, understand yourself more, learn about your body, learn about what you can do, how can you adapt things? If one thing we are as humans, we're incredibly adaptable. So this is what I want you to start thinking about. How can I improve during this period? Physically, mentally, from a tactical perspective, technically, what can I do even though I don't have a squash court to go on, even though I can't play someone else in a game? What can I do to help improve myself and learn more about myself? Right. So for me, there's a couple of very basic things I want to go through today that will help you tremendously, and you can do these things every day of your life, whether you're actually thinking about squash or whether you're just literally walking around the house, getting in and out of a seat, doing whatever. And the first thing is thinking about how you balance and how you move. Because when you think about a squash court, when you're moving and you have to go from one direction to the other incredibly quickly, right? You have to change direction, you have to go forward, you have to go back, and you don't know which way you have to go until the very, very, very last second. Now, how can you train yourself on a day-to-day basis during regular life to do that? Now, I think, and this is something I've done my whole life, is when you're walking around, when you're picking an object up, when you're doing whatever, how am I getting there and how am I getting out of it, right? So if I think about going and picking up this racket, I'm going down like this to pick it up. So where's my weight? It's like 80% on this leg, 90% maybe, and 10% on this, maybe 85, 15, right? So I'm there and I push up. Okay, how does that relate to squash? What happens if you're turning here to hit a shot? You're turning and then you're back up, right? But if you don't think about it, you just go like this, right? I don't even pick up the right racket, right? So the thing is, if you really focus on it when you're doing it, then you're going to get a benefit from it, and it's going to help you. It's going to help you just physically be stronger. I know this is not probably what you're thinking about, but when you're my age, yeah, I know you will be one day. Just the health of your body, the strength of your body from doing that. But in terms of just your squash, it will help you turn and hit a shot there. Forehand or backhand, depends if you're left or right-handed, right? There you go, right? So start thinking about day-to-day life. If you're picking a bag up, if you're picking something up, taking something out of a cupboard, does that look like a volley? It does, doesn't it? If you take it out of the cupboard. So my thing with this is, yes, you need to know where you're balancing, where your weight is, and I think about it coming through my feet, right? So where in your feet are your balance? Where is the pressure on the floor? If I'm going backwards, where's the pressure? Okay, so my heels, right? There's nothing on my toes. If I'm going forward, where is it? It's going more and more on my toes. So you just start to think like your balance point. So I think doing stuff like that, I think that's a really interesting way to think about things as well. If you want to just break it down to standing here and doing this with me, it's like, how am I feeling? Okay, I'm feeling here. I'm on my right foot, my left foot, my right foot, my left foot, my right foot, my left foot. I'm forward and back. And then I'm forward and right, and then back and left, so on and so forth. Now that, if you can start to do this, you start to feel like, oh, I'm on a squash court. I'm going to go to the back right corner. I'm going to the back left corner. Front left corner. Now you just need a small space for this, right? Because you're just taking a single step. So if you've got a space this size, you can replicate, obviously not a squash court movement, but you can replicate your first step, right? So I'm feeling where I am. Always come back to this point. And maybe you do this in a room on your own so that you don't feel self-conscious. And then you go like here, and then I'm just gonna go forward. I can do a lunge, right? And then I can go back and do a half lunge. And then I can turn straight side on. And then I can turn side on this way. Okay, so start to play around with that today, as part of your feel and understanding of where your balance and your feet are going through the floor. And this will help you tremendously start to understand how you move and what you should be doing. My notes from this would be like, what are you feeling? Are you feeling sometimes like you're falling over? Is your top half of your body disconnected from your body and you're not like working together? That hurt my back immediately when I did that, right? But as soon as I go like forward like that, nothing hurts, right? So what's happening? Is this leg going this way when this leg wants to go that way, right? So where and what is happening? Start to understand for yourself, write down some notes, and you can start to think about how to improve it on a daily basis. Okay, just try and think about everything staying connected. And if you're going forward, your momentum, your weight's falling forward, your balance is coming forward onto your front foot, you're feeling like it's all going forward, ready, so you're there. All one motion. All one motion. Okay, rather than, okay, make it all go together. Write down those notes, what works, where you feel like you struggle a little bit, and from there you can start to build upon that and start to get a much better base of movement. Second thing, this is very squash specific. Now you can use absolutely any piece of equipment. I have paddle rackets from summer paddle rackets. I have tennis racket. I have just a piece of metal, so a pole, and then I have my son's Bodhi's squash racket. So let's use both of these. First things first, I want to try and work out and think about grip. This is very basic, but trust me, this is worth every one of every standard doing. Now, I'm going to do it with the pole first just so you can see it and it makes it obvious that whatever you have, you can use, okay? So, if I was doing this, I'm going to shake hands, right? We've all talked about the grip. We all know where our grip should be. So let's try and make this a time when our grip becomes correct. And correct meaning for you. There's a rough parameters where it's either going to be straight down the middle through to being slightly open on the forehand side, looking like that, right? So your choice, and it's where you feel most comfortable, but it can't be closed, it can't be too open, it has to be somewhat down the middle, which is called an international grip. So shake hands, there's the V around the middle, right? I'm using a pole. Now, I'm going to do it once or twice with this. The basic tenets of a swing. Let's have your arms out straight in front of you like this, elbows in, so your elbows are closed. Now, again, this is up to you how far away you want to go. You can actually push the elbow out a little bit so it's nice and wide, or you can keep it a little bit tighter. But as you saw there, it doesn't change, nothing turns or changes or moves. It literally comes from this position, fingers in front, dead straight, and then you push it out a fraction if you want to. So you got some space between your body and your arm. You can also just keep it in kind of tight. It's up to you. Now, the simplest thing and the simplest way to think about improving your swing, now I'm going to change this, I'm going to use it once actually, and then I'll change it to swing, is now think about rotation as you start to swing. We're not going to swing yet, but rotation. Okay? As you can see, that starts to look like a swing, right? All you need to do is add in the next part, which is that. So you can start, again, so I'm setting up, I come out a little bit, I'm just there, I'm like 2-3 inches out, and then rotation, 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 rotation. Okay, so that's the forehand side, right? And then I'm going to do the backhand side. So back in again, set it up, rotation, rotation. So you saw there, I actually went back with this first, and then I realized I hadn't moved my body. So set it up again and make sure your torso turns. I'm not actually turning the arm at all, right? There's nothing happening other than my torso turning and my hips and legs moving. Okay, so I would do about 50 on each side like that. It's good exercise. It gets you thinking about your position, your hold, your ready position, and then the basic turning. I'm going to change to a squash racket. It's Bodhi squash racket. So if you have the space and you have your racket, you can do this, right? So here's the forehand side. I'm in the ready position. Arms out, exactly the same position, rotation, through. Rotation, through. So I rotate, and then swing. So when I say swing, you don't go back here and then just come through. You come back, and then drop, and through, as if you'd hit. That looked like slow motion, didn't it? It was. Just me though, not the camera. Turn, swing. So make sure that the rotation's first. Rotation, swing. Rotation, swing. Now, backhand, same position. Rotation, swing. Rotation, swing. And as you can see here, go backhand. See that? Everything's turning together. If I had a golf bat in my hand, golf club it is, I think. It's kind of very similar, right? And then the forehand from the side. All right, so if you can do 50 of the simple rotations on both sides, 50 and 50, and then 50 with the swing and the follow through. Now, what you want to think about is once you've done the rotations and you've kept it kind of tight and you're making sure that the arm's not coming back separately to the body and the racket are coming together, then when you swing through, you want to think about that. That is if you're connecting with the ball here, there's no ball obviously, and then follow through as much as you can with the release. Think about how that feels. Think about where the racket goes, because what you want is once you get to this point, you want it to continue. You don't want it to go here and then roll around, or on this side there and then roll around, or out there. You want to see the same thing with your body, right? You want to be controlled. Alrighty, so 50 of each of those, 50 of the swing ones as well, and then put some notes down as to what you think is good for you, what you find hard, and then trust me, if you can do these sorts of things every day for the next few weeks while you're doing the other exercises we're going to show you, the physical, the mental, the video analysis, your game will improve. I know that sounds weird to think about when you're not going to be on a court for a while, but I'll guarantee you 100%, you do this, your game's going to improve. And this is the time to do it. All right? There's no ability to get on court. There's no ability to play tournaments. This is all about you improving through any means you can, and you can do it at home with all these simple tools and simple exercises. Good luck. I miss everyone. I can't wait to see you all again, and we will very soon, I'm sure. Maybe not soon, but we'll definitely do it sometime soon. And I can't wait to get back on court with you. But until then, work hard. Think about yourself. Think about how you're improving, and have fun doing this. It should be fun.